Well, hello YouTube, and how are you? JJ Merrill here, back from a little bit of a hiatus, and ready to bring you yet again one of my favorite champions to play. Champions? Whatever, League of Legends is still a decent game, don't listen to the haters. One of my favorite heroes to play in Dota 2, and that is going to be Phantom Lancer. And today I'm going to be bringing you some super intense 5v5 random draft action in high skill brackets, so you know this is a very, very serious game. Yeah, not really. Anyway, okay, so Phantom Lancer, really cool hero, and he got a pretty good buff in patch 6.75, which as of the recording of this video came out about a week and a half ago, I think. Yeah, he now gains 4.2 agility per level, which is actually pretty amazing. So, to begin with here, again, this is going to be a 5v5 pre-made random draft, and it looks like our lanes might be a little bit better set up than theirs, so let's go ahead and talk about that right away. We're going to have Phantom Lancer and Keeper the Light appear in top lane, and I am going to talk about this specifically. Against a Dazzled Tidehunter, this is scarier than it looks, guys. I know this seems kind of silly, like, oh, two guys that are usually supports in a lane together, but these guys are, there could be a worse lane. We're going to have a Doomringer up against a Morphling, so they're going to be ricing against each other all day, pretty much. And we have a Drow Earthshaker, I like that lane quite a lot, against a Vengeful Spirit Jakiro. Vengeful Spirit got quite a buff in 6.75 as well, with a little bit more agility gain. Not a huge buff, but Vengeful Spirit's going to be farming in that lane. So, Phantom Lancer and Keeper the Light work extremely well together, which I'm going to detail here in just a moment. But what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to slow the video down a bit, and I want to talk about Phantom Lancer's skills for those of you that may not be totally familiar with him. So, using the super sweet replay features, I'm going to slow it down a bit. Phantom Lancer, he is a super hard carry that is meant to shine throughout the late game, but that being said, it's somewhat of a misconception that he is useless throughout, say, like the mid-game. Throughout the early game, yes, you are very weak, you're very fragile, you do need a lot of farm to get online. But Phantom Lancer is actually pretty awesome. And it's not like, say, a hero like Spectre, who absolutely must get a ridiculous amount of farm to really be effective at all. So, Phantom Lancer's first skill, Spirit Lance, very wide radius, as you can see from the tooltip on the screen right now showing around him. Very wide radius nuke that deals pretty respectable damage, very low cooldown at only 7 seconds, slows your target, and it generates an illusion of Phantom Lancer by the target as well. This is a great nuking skill and excellent for lane control. You're going to see the synergy between Phantom Lancer and Keeper the Light as we play throughout this lane here. Phantom Lancer's second skill, Doppelwalk, great escape skill. What this does is this turns you invisible and generates an illusion at the position you were at, and the enemy will not be any wiser. And it also gives you kind of a nice speed buff too. And third skill, Juxtapose. This is what gives Phantom Lancer his namesake, his ability to generate illusions. At level 4, you can generate a total of 8 illusions through this skill. And it generates a lot of chaos on the battlefield if you get a big illusion army during a team fight. Really cool ability, and what makes Phantom Lancer a pretty unique carry. Phantom Lancer's ultimate, not terribly interesting. It's actually a passive ability. Phantom Edge gives you a flat magic resistance of both yourself and your illusions, and it also gives your Juxtapose illusions a chance to create illusions of themselves, as you can see by the Juxtapose chance bonus, and the illusion duplicate chance stacks with Juxtapose. If none of that makes sense, don't worry about it. Get in there, right-click people. You'll generate a bunch of illusions, and it'll be great. You don't really need to know much anything else. This does not change the fact that the max number of illusions is 8. There is a couple of exceptions to this, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But anyway, let's go and speed things back up. You get a really basic idea of how Phantom Lancer works. General skilling order, I actually vary this up from game to game. The basic and safest option is to take Doppelwalk at level 1. That way, in case you get ganked, you can get out of there. This is a general rule on most heroes, by the way. If you have a hero that has some kind of invisibility or escape, you're going to get that at level 1. For example, yeah, by the way, that skill that makes you go invisible so you can get away from people, that's a good skill. So use your W key to use that skill in that kind of situation. So, I decided to use this clip despite that absurdly embarrassing moment that you just saw there where I could have easily lived, and I had, what, like a 4 or 5 second window where I could have pressed W, but I chose not to for some reason. But anyway, I could have easily lived right there, and I would have been able to using Doppelwalk. Really, really good skill. Turns you invisible, and it creates an illusion where you were just at, and it runs the same direction you were running. It's actually really, really nice. They did a good job on this in the fact that the transition going invisible is actually pretty seamless, so I really like the skill. My build that I often like to go is, if I know I'm going to be safe in the lane, I'll take a level in Spirit Lance, stats, Spirit Lance, stats. That is a very, very aggressive build, considering I'm not choosing to get Doppelwalk until level 5. I would definitely not recommend this if you are up against a solo mid that is definitely likely to gank you. For example, like Night Stalker would be an example where I would absolutely want to get Doppelwalk much earlier on. Or if you just feel you're going to be up against a lane that has a fair amount of killing power and you need some kind of escape. Like, you know, you usually want to take Blink on Anti-Mage at level 1, or Bounty Hunter's Invisible at level 1. It's just the safer option. And another part of this, I know I'm talking more about general laning right now than Phantom Lancer itself, but it's pretty important. Level 1 skills in general are not that great. So if I take Spirit Lance at level 1, am I really going to want to use it as a nuke?
Thank you.
Probably not. Just generally speaking, like level 1 skills, probably don't want to use them unless they're escapes. Level 1 nukes are kind of bad. So, the reason that Phantom Lancer and Keeper of the Light are very good is because whenever I hit this level 3 mark, and I have 2 levels in Spirit Lance, I can now spam this, and Phantom Lancer can fill me, Keeper can fill me back up on mana. This is insanely strong. This makes for a really, really good lane. Reason being is because you have an overwhelming amount of presence whenever you're in the lane. If they get close, they're going to get hit with a Spirit Lance. If they get close, they're going to get hit with Keeper's Illuminate, doing a ton of damage. If both of them hit at once, it's going to be bad news for them. Dazzle is getting a little too close here. And so you can see Keeper charging up his charge in the trees here. If I time this just right, we can get a kill. And there it is right there. So you can see that the reason this is such a strong lane is because if they get within, say, an area where we're at, like, say, if they're standing, like, say, right here, right now, there is a very good chance that I can just throw a spear, and he can charge up an Illuminate and do even more damage to them. Extremely, extremely strong lane. Talk a little bit more about Phantom Lancer in general. You might have noticed that I went Tranquil Boots. I really, really like Tranquil Boots on this guy. In this particular situation, it's very, very debatable and probably the wiser choice actually to go with Power Treads. But the reason I like Tranquil Boots so much is because it kind of fills in some holes that you otherwise might have a little bit of trouble with, especially if you go a Soul Ring build, which I also really, really enjoy. I may upload a quick video that just shows that build specifically because it is so strong. But Tranquil Boots are great. Gives you good movement speed, they're cheap, armor, HP regen, lets you stay in the lane for a long time. Keeper's got my mana problems set down. Tranquil Boot solves my HP problems. I should not have to leave this lane for really any reason. He throws me his ring of regen for a minute because he's a good guy. But anyway, the Soul Ring Tranquil Boots build is insanely strong. Pop your Soul Ring, cast a free Spirit Lance, use your Tranquil Boots, and that's it. So, really, really encourage that. I mean, you can go with your more standard stuff, you know, it's like buying your Power Treads and buying your Ring of Health and all that good stuff, but try different stuff, you know, try different item builds and try different skill builds and find out things that work in different situations. I chose not to go Soul Ring this particular game because I knew the Keeper had my mana problem set. Would have been bad to go Soul Ring? Not at all. Like, it still would have been a good idea, but would it really have been as good as if I didn't have Keeper in the lane? Probably not. But anyway, you can see that this Tidehunter Dazzle lane is actually not all that terrible. I mean, it's not good, and I'm definitely not playing to the best of my ability right now, especially the fact that I died earlier. That was a huge, huge, huge mistake and something that really should not happen in this lane ever, but I died anyway, so I got to make up for that mistake. You might notice I bought a Wraith Band here, and the reason I did that is for the exact reason I just specified, is because I died pretty early on. That set me back considerably. Buying items like a Wraith Band can help you kind of get that edge back a little bit. Don't be afraid to buy cheap items if you're set behind slightly and you kind of want to get back in the game. We're not doing bad at all right now, but I feel like it's going to kind of get me back to where I may have been if I didn't die, if that makes sense. But anyway, regarding skilling order for Phantom Lancer, I would always max Spirit Lance first, really no exception to that. I don't like to get levels in Juxtapose for some time. The reason that this is because this is going to generate, I'm actually going to go into Hero Chase Manager so the tooltip stays up, but the reason I do this is because it's going to generate illusions whenever I'm trying to last hit in the lane, and honestly, if I don't want to push the lane, that's going to be kind of a problem. Because my illusions are going to start auto-attacking, and I really don't want them to do that. You know, I can send them off in the jungle to do their thing, but at this point in the game, they're going to be too weak to kill any jungle camps anyway. So I choose not to take any levels in Juxtapose for quite a while. You may have noticed that I took a level in my ultimate. Very, very debatably a mistake, because the only benefit I'm getting from it right now is the flat magic resistance, which is great, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, that's good. And this, whenever you have 3 levels, and this 20% magic resist is very, very considerable. I mean, that's 2/3 of a hood right there. That's really, really good. But I'm getting no benefit at all from the illusion duplicate chance or the juxtapose chance bonus. So, really didn't need to pick up a level in this right now. I did anyway. I'm definitely not playing to the best of my ability here, but this is a fun game. I wanted to upload it, and it does show off some important concepts of Phantom Lancer that I want to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and fetch my Magic Wand and my Wraith Band from the courier here. By the way, I should have picked up a Magic Stick from the shop much, much earlier. Reason being is you notice how often Tidehunter was spamming his Anchor Smash and how often Dazzle was spamming a Shadow Wave. That's important. I mean, I would have had maybe even full charges on that wand by now. And guys, if you're not buying Magic Wand by this point in your Dota career, start. It's really, really going to help you. It is such a good item. So I pick up a Ring of Aquila here. And a really, really cool item. All it is a Ring of Basilius and a Wraith Band combined, if you're not familiar with it. Pretty good item on Phantom Lancer. Gives you some mana regen, gives you damage, attributes, armor. There's no stat on here that Phantom Lancer does not benefit from. So good item. I do like to pick this up every now and then. Again, not something I pick up every game, but just something kind of nice to have. Again, Dazzle getting way too close. And this is the strength of the lane. If they get close, I'm going to nuke them. And Keeper's going to back me up. Even if his Illuminate doesn't hit, he's going to fill me back up with mana, so if they get close again, I'm going to nuke them. I have absolute and total free farm here. My last hits should be much, 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 much higher than they are right now. And that being said, there's a lot of different starting builds you can go with Phantom Lancer too. If you know you're going to be up against a tough lane, go with the Stout Shield, sure. But if you're going to be up against an easier lane, buy a Quelling Blade. Like, if you know that you're not going to have any trouble getting in there and setting up this beautiful lane... Oh my god. I remember that now. He stood right there and the Illuminate actually hit him. So, very well played. Very good kill by the Keeper there. But yeah, if you're starting out, this game I started with a Ring of Protection to go for an early Tranquil Boots, just so I knew that I wouldn't have to leave the lane. But this goes back to the discussion I was having before, where whenever you get into a game, don't just reflexively buy your items and go to lane. Really look at their heroes and think, okay, what's going to happen when I get there? Am I going to be up against some kind of horrible long-range combo, like, am I going to be up against a Drow that's going to ice arrow me all day? Am I going to be up against a Crystal Maiden or a Witch Doctor that have 600 range and they're going to harass me all the time? Stuff like that. Always, always, always think about your decisions before you go into the lane. And last hit better than I do, for God's sake. It is painful watching replays and seeing these bad last hits, but if you want to get better at the game, do this stuff. Watch yourself play. It is so much different watching yourself last hit than when you're actually in the game. You notice so many little things that you make mistakes on, and I'm finally buying my Magic Wand. Very, very much overdue, but that's okay. You notice that they had to leave the lane. They really didn't have much choice. So what this is letting us do is it's letting us damage the tower. Tidehunter coming in here, he's going to take a little bit more damage than he really needed to. Bring him down to a little bit under 3/4 life. Definitely not good for him. Another nuke here, he's a 1/4 life, and a great Illuminate here. He's definitely going to go down. I'm going to go for a little bit of a chase. One more auto attack. He is going to die. Looks like Keeper might be a little bit of trouble up here. I need to go up there and help him right away. I think that Morphling and Dazzle are... he should be fine. It's been about, I played this, I think, the first day 6.75 came out, so I don't remember exactly how this game went. It has been a little bit. Pick up my Ring of Health. The Ring of Health I pass off to the Keeper to get his health back up a little bit. He pops a salve as well. I'm intending to turn the Ring of Health into a Vanguard. Vanguard is an extremely good item on Phantom Lancer. Now, the first thing some of you guys might be thinking is, wait, illusions don't get benefits from damage block. That's absolutely correct. They do not. So that means that the 40 damage block on Vanguard is actually a wasted stat. However, the 250 HP bonus is not. And that is huge. It makes your illusions a lot more tanky, and it makes you a lot more tanky. You really, really need this. That's just one of Phantom Lancer's big holes, is his survivability is not all that great. So going after the Morphling here, he's Morphin Strength. Morphling is still damn hard to kill even after his nerfs. But Grades, I really like this play. I do remember that. The Shallow Grave definitely kept him alive there, so I really like how they played that out. A little bit misplayed on my part. I probably could have gotten there faster, maybe gotten the kill, but that's okay. Anyway, talking more about Phantom Lancer's weaknesses, you are pretty damn squishy for quite a while in the game. You do have your Doppelwalk ability to turn invisible, but if you're up against reasonably decent players, and if you're ganked, you are going to die. They're going to dust you and you're going to die. Same as any other invisibility hero. You know, you always hear, oh my god, Bounty Hunter's op, Ricky's op, any hero that turns invisible is op. Well, the reason that is because people never really take the time or the effort to counter them. They don't buy dust, they don't buy sentries. So, this is kind of where that comes from. And it looks like bottom lane is doing well, which is nice. Take a look down there real quick.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I think there is actually a lot of merit to Vengeful Spirit being played as a semi-carry, but I'll talk about that in a different video. So, moving on from here, should have much more farm by this point. Generally speaking, my ideal build that I would go is I would get a Vanguard up as quickly as possible, and I would turn that into a Radiance. Radiance also got a considerable buff in 6.75 that it now does 45 damage per second from 40. Which doesn't sound like much, but that is really, really going to add up, especially in a prolonged engagement. I'm not going Radiance this game, specifically because we have a Doomringer in the game, and he's planning to go Radiance. So, no point in having two of them, right? Take down that tower. Unfortunately, I do not get the last hit, which I was a little disappointed in. That's why I generated the extra illusion. If I would have put a little bit more effort into that, I could have very, very likely gotten that last hit, but that's okay. By the way, this ability scales really well. The cooldown goes down a lot, and the mana cost goes down very, very sharply. That's why I'm getting 4 levels in it, you know, instead of just a couple. So now comes the point where you kind of hit the tipping balance with Phantom Lancer. I'm almost getting to the point where I'm going to be really, really useful in team fights, because once I get a few levels of Juxtapose up, that's where, you know, the fun really, really starts with this guy. Now, all that being said, in this particular game, this is not all that serious, as you can tell. I would still be farming right now if I really felt as if I needed to, but we're going to go have some fun instead. So we're going down into their bottom jungle, all 5 of us, 5-man Dota. Spot an Earthshaker here, and he gets swapped by the Vengeful Spirit. He gets stunned, Ice Path, and he pretty much blows up. Good stuff. And the Drow is going to be in a lot of trouble here. Really not anywhere she can go. Trying to juke through the trees here. Going to get pinned off by the Vengeful Spirit. Stunned, followed up by Spirit Lance, and she's going to go down too. And, did Doombringer doom that? Yeah, he did. that's alright, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nothing is going to make up for my first death earlier that I've chosen to publicly display on the internet. But you know what? We all make mistakes. And if I don't show them, well, that's kind of defeats the point of the videos. Dazzle got way too close. You can see the stun, or I'm sorry, not the stun, but the slow from the Spirit Lance is actually quite good. What percentage slow is that? A 40% movement slow at level 4. That is actually one of the stronger slows in the game. Not many slows actually get up to that level. Rod of Atos is a 50% slow. That is definitely one of the strongest, but 40% is extremely respectable. Not only that, too, but your illusion that it generates, once you get kind of farmed, it's not just going to be an illusion you can ignore either. It's going to do some damage to you. So, I've got my essential core up, which is going to be, you know, my Vanguard, my boots, whether I chose to go, you know, Tranquil, Treads, whatever. I really don't recommend, phase boots on this guy. The reason being is because illusions do not benefit from flat damage upgrades. That means if I buy an item that just gives me pure damage, for example, well, an extremely good example is actually Sacred Relic, which actually is part of Radiance, but the plus 60 damage my illusions are not going to get benefit from. However, my illusions will generate the Radiance aura. So, during a big long team fight, say like if I were to die, if I were to go down, or if I just have my illusions spread out, that's why Radiance is a powerful item on this guy. He's hard to kill, he's going to be in a team fight for a prolonged period of time, especially because of his illusions. So that's why I do kind of like building Radiance on him. I do not build it if I have not done extremely well in lane. Even if our Doomringer was not planning to go Radiance this game, I wouldn't buy it just because my farm was honestly not very good at all and I died once. I would not be able to get it up in time where I really feel like, okay, you know, Radiance is really making a big impact here. So I probably would not buy it this game. This particular game, what I would really advise myself to do, which I should be doing, is buy a Diffusal Blade followed by a Manta style. And I'm going to go ahead and explain those choices now and go into Hero Chase. I don't think much action is going to happen for a little bit. So, oh god. Sorry guys. There we go. Okay. So, if we look at Diffusal Blade, this item was made for Phantom Lancer. Why? Because feedback is going to proc on your illusions. It is the only orb effect in the game that will proc on illusions. So other orb effects like Desolator, Mjolnir, Eye of Scotty, those will not proc on illusions. Feedback will. Only orb in the game, as of the time of this recording, that will do so. So what feedback does, you can see your attacks burn 20, 36 mana, and deal the same amount of damage. So level 1 Diffusal Blade, for every hit that my main character or my illusions hit, it's going to take 20 mana and deal 20 extra damage. Level 2 Diffusal Blade, 36. Imagine this. I have my Juxtapose maxed out for 8 illusions and my main character, each hitting for 36 mana burn per hit and dealing the same amount in damage. If I get up on a target, it's going to drain literally hundreds of mana within seconds. Extremely good item. And look at this. I got in behind a tier 2 tower, I was screwing around like an idiot, and I walked out scot-free. Because the enemy did not choose to go any kind of counter against me. Throw down a dust, throw down a sentry. Now, in that kind of situation, there are only 2 of them there, so there wasn't much they can do, so I'm being a little overly critical. But the point still stands, is that with Doppelwalk, you can get away with a lot that you definitely would not be able to otherwise. So, again, if I did not emphasize the point enough, buy Diffusal Blade on Phantom Lancer, guys. It is insanely good. I mean, your DPS output goes through the roof whenever you get your Illusion Army up. It is so good. Looks like our dragon's going to die, but that's okay. Running around mid lane a bit. Starting to get a couple of illusions up. I have 1 level in Juxtapose right now, so I can only get a maximum of 2. So right now, my illusion army is not going to be that impressive. Now, you might also be wondering, why the hell are you buying Manta Style? Don't you can have that built in? Well, sure I do, but Manta Style is deceptively strong on Phantom Lancer, so let's go ahead and go back into Hero Chase. Let's talk about that item for a moment. And actually, no, I'm gonna take a break here. That was a nice fissure by him. Now, what he should have done is he really needed to follow up with the dust or some kind of detection. Good Guy Keeper is going to teleport me to him. Very nice, greatly appreciated. Let's take a look at Manta Style. So, Manta Style by itself gives you some great stats. You benefit from every single stat that this gives you. Strength is great because you need to be survivable, and all your stats go to your illusions. Remember, direct damage does not, stats do. So what that means is that the strength is going to increase their HP, agility is going to increase their damage, and never mind a little bit more intelligence. Attack speed, your illusions do benefit from attack speed. That's why items like Power Treads are good, because they do benefit from that. And the movement speed is nice as well. Illusions also benefit from movement speed. Great Ice Path. All 3 of these guys here. Looks like we're going to have a team fight breaking out. Dazzle threw it down the shallow grave a little bit too early. I think he got scared. So now he's not going to have it for the rest of this fight. Go back into perspective so you can see exactly what I was doing during this. Earthshaker coming up from behind, but I want this kill. Tries to earn himself, but he did a little bit too late here. Going into a 3v2 situation here. Trying to focus down the Earthshaker. Throw down Spirit Lance. He's going to go down. And now I want you to look at something that we're doing here. I'm actually going to slow this down. I want you to look at the mistake we're about to make. I do specifically remember this. The Morphling is morphing strength right now. He has his morph maxed out. Look what the Doomringer and I are doing. We're trying to focus this Morphling down, while the Tidehunter is low, giving him a chance to run. We're not going to kill this guy. I mean, worst case scenario, he's going to wait. He can wait for him out at any time. This is a really important thing that you guys need to think about during every single team fight If we focus this guy, can we really kill him? Is it going to let another target get away? So, Doombringer turns around, chooses to fight, and he's going to die for that. I think the creeps actually killed him. Chasing down this Tidehunter, I make a huge mistake, try to go up this hill instead, which is probably going to let this Tidehunter get away. I need to throw a Spirit Lance. Okay, throw down the Spirit Lance. He's super, super low. Oh my god, I need one more. I pop my wand to try to get just enough mana. I need 140 to finish him off. He makes it to the tower. I just need a little bit more mana. Good heal going down from the Dazzle. And now they're actually responding to me. But again, look at this. If I look right now, all of the enemy team is here. Not a single one of them. Well, actually, the Dazzle does have a Sentry Ward. I didn't know this at the time. But none of them except the Dazzle have any kind of detection. So let's see if he chooses to make use of it. And fired up. Vengeful Spirit coming in here, try to help me out, which I appreciate. I think she's going to die for it. Dazzle could have thrown down that Sentry Ward, and I would have died. 100% guaranteed. There's no way I could have made it out of that situation. But since I did, I escaped from literally a 1v5 with the help of Vengeful Spirit and them not using any kind of detection, and yet again, I get away. Should not have lived through that at all. If you guys walk away with anything from this video, even if you don't like Phantom Lancer, if you are playing against a stealth hero, you gotta buy detection. If you're pushing a tower, throw down a Sentry Ward. If you're roaming around with your team, have dust on you. It is so, so, so critical. Especially against heroes where you might not immediately think of their stealth capabilities, like an Invoker, or if there's a Kunkka and he's about to get his Shadow Blade. Be ready for that stuff. You know, really, really always be thinking of what you're going to go up against. I'm making a slight mistake here. I'm going for my Manta style first. I don't think this is a huge mistake, mind you, but I would really rather get my Diffusal Blade first. Reason being is in this particular game, I'm doing quite well at this point. I have quite a bit of kills, which makes up for my sorely lacking performance earlier in the game. But I got quite a few kills. I'm pretty survivable. Vanguard is helping out with that. But I need more damage, and Diffusal Blade is going to give me a lot more damage than Manta Style could. So that's definitely a decision that I would have chosen differently, going back if I were to play this game again. Now things are going to get kind of fun. So you can see I've got my 6 illusions up from having level 3 and Juxtapose. And I can push a lane and farm with this. This is awesome. And thanks to my ulti, my illusions can generate their own illusions. You can get an army going very, very fast. Got a team coming in behind me. Another great fissure going down. I'm going to go and use invisibility yet again. Am I going to get detected? Am I going to get detected? No, I'm not. Looks like the Keeper was actually going to bring me back, but he canceled it. And I know my whole team's behind me, so I'm kind of trying to bait this out right now. And great success. Great Ice Path going down. Catches 2 of them. Earthshaker gets blown up. Nice Illuminate. Catches the Tidehunter. He's about to go down as well, but a really good Ravage. Unfortunately, didn't have anything to back it up with. Ravage catches all 5 of us. Throw down a Spirit Lance at the Drow. Trying to take her out. Looks like my team's going to finish off the Tidehunter, so I'm choosing to chase the Drow down in the base. Need one more Spirit Lance for her slow. She's taking a lot of damage here. By the way, if I had a Diffusal Blade, she'd be dead right now. I guarantee that. Need one more. 420 no scope. Uber Weed Lord does go down. Okay, good. Phantom or the Tidehunter declares GG. Better lanes win the game. Yeah, our top lane was a lot better than their Dazzle Tidehunter. I will say that, but I mean, there is truth to that statement, but it's not entirely true. Like, things could have definitely been different for these guys. For example, when you saw the Morphling go up top to try to gank us, don't do that. If you're playing a carry mid, like Morphling or Sniper is probably the best example of this, you really shouldn't be leaving and ganking. That's not really what your character is made for if you're going to be going mid with a guy like that. But anyway, that's a point for future discussion, I should say. Anyway, looks like we're going to go ahead and fight in the space. Yet another good Ice Path going down. That Ice Path is so damn good in this patch. Dazzle gets nuked. I really want to take out the Tidehunter. Need another Lance going down. But now, Drow and Morphling in there, so I decided to back up. Doppelwalk. And you notice what happened there is his Adaptive Strike hit my illusion that I generated from the Doppelwalk. Again, great ability, can really, really help you get away from situations and make people waste their abilities. It's nice. Alright, trying to take out the Drow. Epic battle coming in, and we're going to trade with each other. Fun stuff. So their entire team got wiped once again, but 3 of us did go down. We stuck around a little too long. Well, actually, I guess we shouldn't say that because we won the fight anyway. But anyway, my Manta style is finally done, and this is the point where Phantom Lancer can really start to carry. Granted, I do not by any means have a full item build ready, especially since I don't have Diffusal Blade, so my DPS is sorely lacking right now. But when I hit level 16, this is where I can start really, really farming at an insane pace. I can get an army of illusions going through the jungle, just wiping all that out. I can have an army of illusions pushing an entire lane while my team is pushing another lane. There's a lot of ways you can use your illusions creatively. They don't just have to be used for team fights. Use them to farm. Like, really, really get in there and use them to farm stuff up. I don't think the Earthshaker was expecting to hit that fissure, which is why he backed off right there, but the tail end of it just clipped his tail, which actually hit him. Alright, back up. And at this point, too, I really don't know if it'd be worth the money, because Tranquil Boots are still nice, but swapping out my Tranquil Boots for Power Treads may not be a terrible choice, just for more attack speed and a little more agility or strength. Probably put them on Strength. Reason being is, again, because the tankier I am, the tankier my illusions are, and that makes overall more HP that the enemy has to kill during a team fight. So, my next natural progression here would very likely be a Heart of Tarask. If you stack a Vanguard and a Heart, you're going to have an insane amount of HP. Therefore, your illusions are going to have an insane amount of HP. I think I actually do this game. So, looks like we actually are a little bit of a situation here. Ravage does go down. I pop my Manta style. Trying to focus down the Dazzle because he's the squishiest. By the way, Earthshaker is extremely good against this hero. If he catches me with a bunch of my illusions up, it's going to be a bad deal. I'm debating on going back in on this fight, but I choose not to because I probably would have died. And my Doppelwalk was on cooldown, so that's why I chose not to attack the Drow there. I should have manned up. Should have been a man and fought. I apologize to whoever died there. Looks like it was the Vengeful Spirit. Looks like they are choosing to try to push this tower a bit. Another good Ice Path going down. Choosing to focus down the Drow. You throw a Spirit Lance. There we go. Get one in there. And she does die. Alright. So, another reason that Manta Style is a fun and good item on Phantom Lancer is because your Manta Style illusions will proc Juxtapose. Now that being said, if you use your Manta Style before you have your 8 illusions up, you can have 2 Manta Style illusions and 6 Juxtapose illusions. If you have your 8 Juxtapose illusions up and then pop Manta Style, you can have a total of 10 illusions up. And then if you use an illusion rune, you can have 12 illusions. Okay, you get the idea. But your Manta Style illusions do count towards your max in Juxtapose. At least I'm 90% sure that's how it works. If anybody out there knows better and wants to correct me, please do so. I'd like to know for myself. I actually haven't tested this. But I read it from what seemed like a reliable source, so I'm going to go with it. Pushing down this tower a bit. Looks like we're going to back off from this and do a Roshan. Yep, pinging wildly, indicating to my team that I would like to do so. So, at this point in the game, especially being as farmed as I am, Phantom Lancer is, in my opinion, kind of an underrepresented and under-respected hero, especially since his insane agility growth buff in 6.75. The reason that you don't see this guy played competitively is for the main reason that he's easily countered by detection, and his illusions are fairly easily countered by strong AoE. For example, Earthshaker or Morphling's Waveform. You can take them out pretty quickly too. But in lower skill games like this one, he's super strong. And just because you don't see a hero played, in tournament videos all the time, doesn't mean you shouldn't play the hero. You don't have to go with super strong picks all the time. However, I don't know, you might see this guy played a little bit more often. The problems that he has, like with the laning phase, if you don't have the great support, are still there. So, I don't know. I'd like to see him played more. I think he's fun, and the amount of chaos you generate with your illusions is just unreal. Hell, I confuse myself whenever I have so many illusions out there. Like, oh god, is this the real me, or which one is the real me? What do I do? Oh my god. But you just drag a big boxer and everything, and attack move, and then everything's okay. So I am finally putting together my Diffusal Blade. It is about damn time. Because when my Diffusal Blade comes together, things are really going to start to shine. Again, if the point wasn't made clear earlier, I'm going to emphasize it once again. Diffusal Blade is insanely strong. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and do some quick and dirty math. If I'm up on a target, if both myself and let's just say, I don't know, 5, 6, even 8 of my illusions are wailing on a target, I'm burning 36 mana per hit. Okay, let's go and just, make that simple. Let's just say I'm burning 30 mana per hit, and I have 8 targets sitting on there. 240 mana, like, literally every second, if I'm focusing a target. My attack speed right now is about 0.7 seconds per attack, so it's actually a little bit higher than that. So if I'm up on a target, I'm going to burn hundreds and hundreds of mana literally within seconds. This is insanely strong against heroes like Morphling, who kind of live and die. He lives and dies by his morph if he gets in trouble. Or if I really need to drain mana from a target that really needs it, and they're helpless without it, that's going to suck for them, and they can't do anything about it. Coupled with your Spirit Lance, which is a 40% movement slow, they're probably not going to be able to get away. Nice initiation by the Tidehunter, but his team is a little slow on the backup here. Good fissure going down, kind of separating our team, but Earthshaker's going to get focused down super quick here. Visual Spirit does die, but Aegis is going to keep her back up. Morphling gets just nuked super fast. I really couldn't see during that fight, but oh my god. That's what I was about to say is I really couldn't see during that fight, but you notice how fast my illusion army came up. Popping my Manta style quickly definitely helped with that. If a fight breaks out very quickly, like it did right there, where we're not pushing down a lane so I don't have an illusion army ready, using your Manta style and then attacking targets is going to very quickly get all 8 of your illusions up, making you a whole lot stronger in a fight. That's another reason why I really like Manta style in this guy. And the fact that it's just kind of cool, like, an illusion guy generates illusions. Yeah, you get the idea. So Diffusal Blade, finally done. Next natural progression would again be Heart of Trask. I'm actually going to go ahead and use their shop to pick this up. Really like doing this. And not only that, I actually haven't talked about this at all, but the active ability is really nice. The fact that I can slow down a target even more. Like, let's say if my my Spirit Lance is on cooldown or I don't have enough mana, I can use a charge. I just use a charge on Morphling there. Kind of questionable because I don't think I'm going to kill him anyway, but whatever. Yeah, am I gonna? Yeah, okay, they don't have any detection, so I'm gonna make it out. But yeah, if I use the Diffusal Blade's active on a target, that's yet another ability that I have to slow somebody. So that's great. That's really good. Now, I see a lot of Phantom Lancers by, I don't know why they do this, but I see a lot of Phantom Lancers by Vladimir's Offering. Don't do this, guys. It's, I mean, I know it sounds kind of cool, you give a big, an AoE damage aura and you give an AoE armor aura, but don't do it. And by the way, Lifesteal does not affect illusions. You will see the little green sparkly effect from your illusions on Lifesteal, but Lifesteal does not work on illusions. So, wasted stat. Don't bother with that. Alright, so, there's definitely a lot more things I could talk about, but all that being said, this game is definitely over. Phantom Lancer is awesome. He is super fun, hard carry, and in my opinion, he can be a lot more effective earlier on thanks to a Spirit Lance than some other hard carries can. Like, there's not a lot you can do as a Spectre earlier on. There's not a lot you can really do as an Anti-Mage earlier on. But Phantom Lancer, he's a little bit different. He's not completely useless for a long time, and I like heroes like that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you give this hero a try. Really underplayed hero, but again, one of my favorites in the game. And guys that he works really well with, anybody that can give you mana, and anybody that has a slow or a stun. Anybody that's going to help you get up on a target. Take a look at the final score screen here. My farm should have been a lot better. This is a fairly fast game, but all that being said, had a lot of fun doing this one. And again, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps you guys out. Take care.